to Salesforce Development Lesson 23, Writing Unit Tests. So if you remember from last time, we worked on our batch classes. We created the delete reservation batch. So we'll go ahead and pull that up here so you can see it. And if you remember, what it did is it selected all the reservation records with the SOCL query. And then what we did is we went ahead and deleted that all those records that were queried from the batch. So basically it deletes all the records from one database from a specific S object. So what we want to do is we want to create unit tests, because in order to push or deploy any of your Apex code, you have to have 75% test coverage. So today we're going to show you how to create just a very basic unit test. So let's go ahead and get started. So first thing we want to do is we want to go ahead and create our class. So I'm going to right click on that class folder, scroll all the way down and click. Here it says create unit test class. So we'll go ahead and do that. Usually I like to name it similar to the name of the class that I am testing. So we'll say delete reservation batch, and then I like to end it with test. And what that does is, because everything is sorted alphabetically, the original Apex class and the test class kind of get grouped together automatically. And again, as you can see, it automatically creates a lot of boilerplate for you when you do that, which is nice. And it gives you a bunch of these nice comments here. But the main thing is here is this unit test static method that it creates it. This is where you're going to implement your test. Now, a couple things you have to usually do is there's a test package, and what usually happens is there's two calls that you have to make inside your test. One is the start test, and the other is the stop test. So what do these do? The start test, what it does, it zeroes out all of your limits, because usually before the start test you have to do things to kind of set up your test by creating the actual records that are going to be run with the test. So usually this is done at there's usually a test setup method, and this is where you create your data, the test setup method. And this method gets run if you have multiple tests. This method gets run before each test. And now you can see the AI is even now kind of creating some of the stuff for us here on our reservation. So here we have a new reservation. I don't think these are valid reservation objects, but yeah, I don't think this is a valid reservation. Oh, well, it might be first name. Let's see. I think I'm gonna have to go back here into my object manager, into the reservation. We'll look that up. We have reservation item. So we'll go ahead and create these. We'll kind of look at some of the things that are here. Now we have these customer objects that are really accounts. So we should create our customer objects next. So let's go ahead and do that. So before we do that, we need to create accounts. So we'll do that for now. So now let's look at our, actually I should go to the account object here and look at some of the fields. The main field I'm looking for is the first and last name. So, and I believe first name and last name. So let's go ahead and do that. And we're just going to keep this real simple here. And I'm going to do something like John. And Doe there. And I accidentally put that in there, but we should be good there. All right, so this is going to be it. And then we have to put our insert statement so that it actually inserts the customer. Now that we have the customer, we can go ahead and switch over to our reservation again. Look at this here. Now we have these customers, customer __ C. So do customer. And then usually what you do is you put the Salesforce ID of the customer. So this is going to be the customer we created .id. And that creates that. And now we have to go and check out what some of the other things we have. The reservation name is an auto number, so we don't have to do anything there. Date of purchase, I believe. If not, what we can do date of purchase there. Let's see, we'll do date of purchase. Because here we go, reservation dot date of purchase equals date.today. Let's look at that. I don't know if there's an is active there. Yeah, there's no is active, nothing like that. So we can get rid of all this. And then for now, just keep it simple. Insert reservation. Okay, we do that. That looks good. Now, once we do that, then we have to go here and actually create our batch. So the way we create, if you remember from how we ran this, I believe I might have a script to run this. The SOCL statement. Yeah, this is a similar script. So what I'll do is I'll just grab this. The script is very similar, but not exactly the same. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and create our batch. The only difference is now we have to create the batch not for delete airport, but delete reservation. So we'll do that. So we'll go ahead and create the batch class. We need to execute the batch class inside of our start test and stop test method. So we'll go ahead and do a system dot execute. Oh, I see. No, I already have the system execute batch. This needs to happen here. You have to execute the batch inside of here. Okay, that looks better. Yeah, so the batch gets executed in between the start test and stop test. When it hits the stop test, what ends up happening is it actually executes one iteration of the batch. So it does that once for us. So then what we need to do is we need to check first to see how many reservations. So we need to do 2 assertions. And the way we do the assertions is we get our reservation, and then we do a system assert is the list greater than 0. Yep, that's perfect. That's exactly what we want to do. So this queries a reservation that we created up here. So we created a reservation object, so it should be 1. And then this asserts that the size is greater than 0. So we need to do the same thing down here. We need to do a similar reservation list equals, and I believe list. We'll do reservation list. There we go. Okay, so what this does, I can get rid of this to do because the to do is done. So as you can see here, this queries this and makes sure that we have more than one. Then this should do the deletion. So after my stop test, we should have 0. So it's just checking to make sure that there was a reservation to be deleted. We ran the batch and it deleted the reservation, and then we checked to make sure that the reservation got deleted. All right, so we'll go ahead and save that. Now, one of the nice things about Visual Studio Code is you can actually run your tests from within Visual Studio Code. So I can actually look over here. You see there's these little run all tests, run tests. So clicking here, because there's only one test, I can either click it here or click it up at top if I have more than one test. But since I only have one test, and by doing this run test, it will do the make data first, because your test setups are always run before every test. And what generally happens is between every test, the test setup runs, then it runs your tests, and then it deletes all the records. It kind of cleans itself up, and then it does the same thing over again for every test. But we only have one test here, so it's only going to do this once. So we go ahead and run the test. Let's go ahead and run it. It said it failed. Test class name is invalid. Oh, maybe because I didn't deploy it. Let's see. Let me save this. Deploy. There we go. I bet you that's the problem. That's why it's invalid. Okay, failed to write. Variable exists. Does not exist. 53. Oh, that's why I have to put list here. Okay, let's go ahead and deploy this now. I think hopefully it should do better. Okay, it ran successfully. So as you can see, it should have created it. So now I should do a test run. So I'll run my unit tests. Oh, we got a failure. Let's see why it failed. Ran the test, there were some failures. Oh, I'm missing my sales tax here. Oh, I see. And I think the problem is because I did not put a state over here in my customer. Because my customer should have a state. So it's, I think it was the shipping address, one of the addresses. So I have to look up my account again here and see. I know there's shipping. There's two addresses. All right, there's a shipping address and a billing address. Let's go with billing address. So we go here, we say billing state, that's equal Connecticut for now. All right, so let's go ahead and deploy. See if that's enough for this thing to run. it's still failing. It still wants the sales tax there. Oh, because it didn't calculate it. Alright, I see what my problem is. I need... Oh, I guess I need to just throw some sales tax in here. Reservation. Just be easier. Throw sales tax, and it's equal 0. I think it's 735, something like that. All right, I think we're good there. So let's go ahead and run the tests. Run our tests. Still failing here. What does it like? Sales tax, line 38. Oh, maybe because I might not have deployed it. I think I need to deploy it. There you go. Now let's go ahead and run it. See, I deployed it and I ran it. Yeah, I think it's because I'm missing my reservation item. I gotta go ahead and just create a reservation item. Yeah, so this one's a little tricky in that it is not letting me, because I'm putting sales tax in. 38. Yeah, so I'm putting sales tax in, deploying this. So we deployed it. That looks good. That should be fine. Then running the tests. Does not like that. So it's missing sales tax. Interesting. Oh, I see. And I think it has to do with the Connecticut sales tax, because I don't have, yeah, see, I have a Connecticut sales tax, but I don't have the other stuff for it. That is really where my problem is. So if I go back here, go ahead and run setup here. Gonna do view all, and I gotta go back to customer service here. And the problem is I don't have the sales tax information here. So let's look for the Connecticut. I have to create this Connecticut state sales tax. So that is where my issue is. State sales tax. Insert sales tax. There you go. It's not the only thing I have to look up. So now I have to go here. here, and I have to look at my sales tax. Alright, so we have sales tax here. We have the field and relationships. And here we have a bunch of things. I want state abbreviation. It's Connecticut. We do sales tax. Is it name? 0.35. How's that? Alright. Okay, I'm going to get rid of this. So that should be automatic. So Connecticut, just want to make sure I get all the fields. I got my name, state of Connecticut, then the tax rate. Is that one? Yeah, I think that should do it now. That should deploy it. Because now we have our sales tax, which this needs. So let's go ahead. Let's see if this, here we go. Ran, and it was successful. Excellent. It's exactly what we wanted. So, as you can see down here, everything ran, everything passed, and we're good now. Now, one thing you could do too is after you run your tests, you can actually click on this little, it's like a hamburger menu down here at the bottom. And what happens when you do that, there's no code coverage information. Yeah, and the reason for that is you have to go to your settings for, let's see, settings, here we go. And look at code, or just coverage. Let's see if I can find testing coverage. Salesforce Apex, here we go. Disable warnings for missing coverage. No. Retrieve test code coverage. This one we're going to check off. So back up and sync settings. No, we're not going to do that. Escape. But at least we went ahead and synced those settings. So now that those settings are set up here, I think what I need to do is I need to go ahead and deploy my tests again. And then I think if I rerun these, it should give me code coverage, hopefully. Okay, so it passed again. Here we go. So now we can see our code coverage here. And it says, okay, we got 100% code coverage. That means all of this was covered. So if I go ahead and click on that, the green shows you all the lines of code that were covered by the test run. So you can see it's 100%, so it covered every line of code here, which is optimally what you want. At a minimum, you need 75% coverage in order to deploy to a production org. Again, we're in a Scratch org, so the tests aren't required to deploy here, but to do your final deployment to production, you're going to have at least 75% total test coverage across all your Apex classes. Again, getting 100% gets you a good chunk of the way there. Okay, so I think that's it for today. Again, if you enjoyed this and want to make sure other people see this YouTube video, please be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. I've also, since last time, I've set up a playlist on the channel, so you can, if you want to just look at all the Salesforce videos, you can go to the playlist, and this video will be there, and I'll add everything, continue to add more Salesforce videos to that playlist. Thank you, and till next time, see you later.